From the corner. Yeah. Sometimes your stock is just higher.
I'm telling you, that's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's probably one of the worst things I've ever heard. Let's move on.
Just like that.
We're rolling, boys. What's up?
Yeah.
Welcome
What
to
up?
another episode of From the Corner. How the boys?
From the corner. Yeah, good on you, bro.
The boys are doing well,
right.
brother. It's good to see you guys.
Well, we've
Yeah.
got a lot in store today. We're going to talk about dark complexion cowboy. We're going to talk about Carla Esparza. We're going to talk about Tanner Boza. We're going to talk about Bobby Knuckles. And we're going to talk about Daza Till, the Liverpool Scouser.
Oh,
and
Darren
let's
Till.
not forget Ramsat.
Darren
Big up
Till.
beep.
You know, it was a bittersweet weekend. I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
No, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I'm happy as well.
Okay, all right. Well, okay.
Why was it bittersweet?
Well, just, you know, because Darren Till didn't come out with a W, but I'm happy that Robert Whittaker did. But it's bittersweet, you know. Those are two of my favorite fighters.
So my opinion on Darren Till's loss is that I think we should. Well, let's move straight on to that main event.
Yeah, no, we have to.
He what an incredible fight. First of all,
Yeah.
you know, 5 rounds of madness and very technical striking.
Totally.
I think. Well, let's first talk about the fight, and then I'll tell you why I don't think it was a loss for Darren Till.
Okay. Well, for me, round 1 definitely went to Darren Till.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a
That's
doubt.
what I wanted to ask. Because the refs, was it 4-1? Is that how they called it? 2-3.
No. It was. Oh, jeez, man. Daniel, you might have to pull up the scores there, my man, because I can't for the life of me remember what the actual scores were. But I had a 2-2 going into the 5th.
It was first round. I had it first round Till he got a knockdown in the first round.
Yes, yeah, no, yeah, and with that beautiful elbow.
And then 4th round Daza Till as well.
Yeah.
And then 5th round Bobby Knuckles. So 2, 3, and 5 for Knuckles.
2, 3, and
I
5
would
is
call
fair.
it-
2, 3, and 5 is fair because that's 4. That's 2-2 going into the 5th.
It is.
Yeah,
I might
I
be.
called it first.
Yeah.
I thought Whittaker had the other 4. I didn't think Till came into the
No,
5th round with
A lot of
2.
people scored it 4-1. A lot of people scored it 3-2.
Yeah. Look. So you know, and it's strange because the judges do score takedowns, and Bobby Knuckles knew that. So
Yeah.
he every time at the end of the round, I think it was round 1, I think he went for a takedown. He didn't get it. Round 2 and 3,
Yeah.
he gets a takedown. And I might be wrong. It might have been 2 and 4, but he gets a takedown. Darren Till stands right back up, but you know that so in round 2, Robert Whittaker was on top of him for a while. But
Yeah.
when Till does eventually get back to his feet, you're almost certain that the judges don't score a guy getting back up as much as they score a takedown. And in my mind, it's exactly the same. It shows that a fighter's controlling where the action takes place.
Mm-hmm.
So standing up should be the same amount of points as a takedown, especially if you're a striker and you want to get back up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
If it's a straight get up, then I'll go, yeah, cool, score it the same.
Oh, you
But
mean
if
like
you've
an
been
early-
on the ground for a while,
Yeah.
then
and you take
that's
some.
it.
You see, the thing is that as well. So if you're on the ground and you take some damage and then you get back to your feet, you should score for getting back to your feet if you're a striker. But I suppose it's also not the judges. It's not the judges' job to know who's a striker and who's a grappler. So
No,
they
totally.
kind of just score it to sort of. I think the way I think they're scoring it is that they're scoring takedowns more heavily, and I think
Yeah.
a lot, I think some of the commentators would agree with me, like Michael Bisping, and I think it's because he's biased because he's a striker.
Michael Bisping said it best.
Yeah, but everyone's got their sort of
But, I mean-
preferences. I prefer grappling, so
But besides the takedowns, Whitaker was like jabbing him a lot more than Till was. Like Till got in some shots, but not as many as the like few touches that Whitaker was getting in. So I think that's how his points just got up.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think that at the end of the fight, they both said, I think they both agreed that Till was the harder hitting fighter and Robert Whitaker was the busier guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's one of the things that it's interesting about MMA is the 10-point must system. Is that you never know who's going to win and what judge is going to score for what. So it was really tough, but I knew that Robert Whitaker was going to win that fight. I knew it from watching the fight, from observing the fight. I had it 3-2 Robert Whitaker. There was no ways for me, in my opinion, that I could have scored it 4-1, but it was most certainly 3-2. I give Darren Till the first round, and I could give Darren Till the third or fourth round.
Yeah. No, agreed. And the nice look. So I think they both acknowledged that it was a really great fight.
They're already talking about doing a rematch, going back.
Well, I mean, I don't see why Robert Whitaker would do that.
I don't see it either.
He fought the champion. He beat one of the top guys. And Darren Till's ranked 5th or 6th, but he really is a top contender in that middleweight division. And some of the guys are just out of action at the moment. Yeah. Paulo Costa's going to come back from injury. Jared Cannonier is going to come back from injury. Yoel Romero's, who knows? He doesn't need to fight anymore. He just won his court case. He's
27 million or something stupid like that.
25 million US. His bank account is stacked. He doesn't need a fight in that middleweight division
he
anymore.
doesn't need shit.
And to get down to 185
and he's getting up in age as well, though.
Exactly, and he's not young anymore.
No,
so
sure.
Darren Till really is one of the top competitors, and I think, for me, why would Bobby Knuckles do another fight against such a tough competitor when he's one fight away from another title shot? He could beat Jared Cannonier, and he could fight for the title and beat someone like Izzy or Costa. So for me, so I think Darren Till needs to fight Jack Hermanson. I think that's the fight to make in the middleweight division.
Ooh, okay. That is a very, very interesting.
Cool.
I like that. Hermanson's just come off Gastelum, quick win via submission, and he's sitting pretty high up.
Yeah, and they've both beat Calvin Gastelum recently.
Yeah.
Look, this fight isn't really a loss for Darren Till.
5-6.
Exactly. He loses a decision. Hermanson's coming off a very good win from of Gastelum.
And it's a good matchup stylistically as well.
It is. The problem for old Liverpudlian Kaiser Till is that he has always been put against strikers. Except for the fight against Tyron Woodley. He's always been put against strikers. And look, Woodley's a great striker in the fact that he can knock your block off, but Woodley's a wrestler. So we've seen Till's got problems with wrestlers. He doesn't really have problems with strikers unless your name's Gamebred. But it's going to be a big test for Darren Till because he's going to fight an elite grappler in Hermanson.
What about Romero?
Romero's
what would be so hilarious?
That would be fun.
Do you know what would be so funny is Romero being put up against Till, because I think Till is legit petrified of Romero.
Because if you think of it, Till fighting Hermanson is going down, where he should be trying to fight up. It's great for Hermanson to try and fight up.
No, I see what you're saying, but Till's coming off a loss now against the former champ. So it makes sense for him to fight one of the top guys. And just on that point that Till's scared of Romero, human beings are scared of Yoel Romero.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When Jay was saying, like, no, I don't know why it would be a good idea. Everybody in that division tries to avoid Yoel Romero, no matter if it's a title fight, if it's a ranking fight, if it's any type of fight. You do not want to be fighting Yoel Romero
unless your name's Robert Whittaker.
No. See, no. Well, old Bobby Knuckles would if you gave him the option now, yes or no, I guarantee he would give you a fucking 100% hell no, because that guy's a beast. No matter how old he is, twice. He's just he's that Cuban thickness.
Oh, that thick neck that you just you just can't. No matter how. You do this to me. I say, I love you. I love you. See you soon. No one wants to fight. No one wants to fight Yoel. I just don't think he's coming back. I just think it would be a fun fight, but I don't think Yoel's coming back. The nice thing about so I'll move on to the conferences. Like Bobby Knuckles said in his press conference, he said. They asked him, who do you want next? He said, it doesn't matter. It's whoever the UFC puts in front of me. And I usually don't like that. I usually like it when guys call someone out because it shows an upward trajectory or a bit of ambition. But with Bobby Knuckles, it's almost like he says, I don't care. Give me the toughest motherfucker you can find. And I think he's really
he's found. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt your very well articulated explanation of Bobby Knuckles, but you can see the fire is burning within him again.
Absolutely. I saw that
against clear as day.
He's on form. He's on fire. He really is.
He was. And you know what? To be honest with you, when he said that, I believe that I was not myself when I was fighting Robert Whittaker. I mean, Israel Adesanya. And I believe him because he really fought a very strategic. Even both of them in the post fight press conference were like, that was the most stressful fight I've ever been in because my mind was going. I had to be on my toes the entire time. It was elite striking. I must admit, after watching that fight, I mean, I had sweaty feet. I had to kind of like change my socks.
It was technical.
No, honestly, because I was just and my heart was racing, and I just thought it was like a sugar levels thing, and it was more just how tense I felt at the time, and it was a very, very entertaining fight to watch, and I'd actually, to be honest with you, that's one of the fights that I would say, hey, I wouldn't mind seeing it again.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not an expert in this at all, but I remember picking up the last time I saw Whittaker fight, is that every time he throws, he goes in with his whole body, and
he exposes his chin.
Just get in with that knee or uppercut, and
he exposes his chin like crazy.
Every time he just goes straight down, head down, body so that's going to catch him at some point.
He rushes.
Yeah, but I think. But I think sorry, man. But I think that he's one of those individuals. If you think of a rugby player, I mean, you'll probably find that he's played rugby in his past and blah blah blah. If you think of a rugby player, to say if they're going to be charging at me that hard, the defense will be the first thing in the forefront of their mind, as opposed to like countering, because you never know if you're going to get that shot off, because Robert Whittaker as a UFC champion is one of the most wildest swingers I've ever seen fight in my entire life. He swings wildly.
Yeah.
So I agree with you guys. He rushes in, but I don't think it's that wild. I think he is a very strategic sort of rushing in guy. I don't know how to articulate it in such a good way, but he rushes in, but he does protect himself. And there was one time when he didn't, and that's when he got knocked out by Israel Adesanya.
Yeah.
In the title fight, he rushed in and he just ate a left hook, and it happened in twice. It happened in the end of the first round, whereas if that happens at the end of the first round, I don't know if you guys remember the fight against Izzy, but if that happens in boxing, the referee stops the fight and he gives you 10 seconds to stand up. In MMA, if you get knocked down, the bell rings and you can recover for 3 minutes. But that's quite. I mean, there's pros and cons to that. I mean, one of the cons is that the guy might actually be concussed. And I think Bobby Knuckles was concussed there in that first round. And when he rushes back in, I think he has a sense of desperation, which Israel Adesanya picks up on and just gives him that same left hook, and it hits him clean.
Yeah, but it's
and then
also,
Bobby Knuckles, and then Bobby Knuckles left, and he said, "I'm taking a long break." And now he's back, and if Darren Till, who's one of the top strikers in the whole of UFC, if Darren Till didn't knock him out, you got to think he's doing something right when he's rushing in, or he's being a little bit more careful than he was in that title fight.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting way to look at it. Sometimes it almost seems like a desperation move in some sort of in a way with him, because he even said that in the post fight press conference that it was a stressful fight, and they were both looking for the knockout. And some of those those were you talk about overhand right. Sometimes I felt like his shoulders had some Q20 on them. I mean, there were some wild swings, dude. And it was very difficult for me to say, is that a technical punch or is that a swing and miss?
It's kind of like, I was going to say that as well. I mean, obviously, he's at the top of his game. So, I mean, he's definitely got skill. But it's like he stepped into the fighting game at a later age. He didn't polish off all the technique.
Dude, you know that he's champion and defended his title, and he was 27 years old. he's definitely got the experience for sure. But I mean, he's got some wild swings.
He's not a person that grew up and maybe had everything. I don't know, maybe he has, but it seems that he started the training of a fighter at a later age. He didn't have time to kind of work on technique.
Well, I mean, you can give him that because he is Australian. And, the majority of the MMA community was built in Brazil and the USA.
Yeah.
No,
but I think Bobby Knuckles has been wrestling since a very young age.
No, I also agree. But, but I just feel like in a fight for someone like Robert Whittaker, he's been a heavy favorite in all of his fights, and actually not. He was the underdog for the Romero fights, wasn't he not?
I'm sure he was in the first one.
And he was champion. He defended his title, but his some of the striking that I saw on the weekend, I was like, damn, dude, are you just resorting to just haymakers? And I don't.
I don't think he defended his title.
He did,
because he won an interim championship versus Romero in the first fight, and then he then he had the belt and Romero made weight.
And then he defended the title against Romero again, and then lost the title to Adesanya.
So when he defended it was a non-title.
He was also supposed to face Calvin Gastelum, then he had surgery, and he was
So technically, yes, let's say he has defended his belt, but it was a non-title bout because Romero missed weight. But Knuckles made weight, so that counts for me as a
100%. That's a victory. Okay. If you make weight and the other guy doesn't, you win. You win at least 20%. You at least win 30% of the purse. Which means
you win. You're already a winner.
Yeah. So if you win, you're 130% winner.
And also, it's not your problem if another guy doesn't make weight. It's a non-title bout for Romero in that case.
100%.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to touch on the fact that Darren Till, he's very gracious in his loss.
Beautiful. It was so nice to watch.
If you lose a 5-round, not a title fight, but if you lose a 5-round fight against a former world champion, and, there were a couple knockdowns in the fight on either side, but he wasn't outclassed. It was quite stressful for both of them. They said it was the most stressful fight because both of them said that because it was just such a technical battle.
Yeah.
They were just relieved it was over. And Till comes out and says, look, Robert won. That's what I liked about it. He said he's not got any excuses. Robert won the fight. But he thought he got some harder shots and Robert was more busy. And it depends on the judges of the night, which way you score it. He thinks he's not going to go down too much in the rankings, and that was that. He took the loss like a real man.
What he actually said was, he said power and precision were the difference.
Okay.
He got more of the power shots and no,
Whittaker
not precision, volume. And
Power and
Whittaker was
volume, yeah.
throwing more punches, and that's how he got the nod, plus the takedown.
Yeah.
But hey, it's a close fight. Without it, you can't look at it any other way other than it's a hell of a close fight. Think, this is not a close of a fight as Volkanovski Holloway was a couple of weeks ago, or any of the Volkanovski Holloway fights at all, because
It's
you
close.
you can do a hard argument that Max won both
Holloway
those fights.
won both, yeah.
I still think Holloway won both the fights. Yeah. So anyway, but it's right up there with the closest fights I've seen this year, and the two Max, the Holloway, the Max versus Volkanovski 2 was probably even closer than this one.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, you can argue that Max could have edged the first one, and then. No, listen. There's a lot. There's a lot
I'm
of
a big Max fan.
Okay, but there's a lot of people who disagree with you. What you're saying right now. So.
Okay, we need to move on. The listeners want to hear about the rest of the fight.
for sure. But you can definitely argue that for the second fight.
Okay, thank you. We'll leave it there. Guys, it was so close that you could argue with yourself about Max Holloway. Yeah, that's how close the Till versus Bobby Knuckles fight.
All right. Okay. Isn't that just what I just said?
It really is. So, are you going to take us through the prelims? I mean, we casual fans.
No, I'm not doing the prelims. No.
Okay,
What
Jay,
about that controversy about the whole
Dan Hardy versus Herb Dean? Okay, whoa. Let's just slow your roll. That's the main event, not the main card, people.
No, that's the main sort of incident of the night, not the main event.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what you guys are actually. But remember,
we're talking about the late stoppage in the fight. Who was it that was fighting?
Final of the prelims.
Trinaldo. Francisco Trinaldo picked up a TKO win over Jai Herbert, and this is the problem with sort of criticizing a referee in MMA. A guy goes down, he gets hit. He got hit quite cleanly. I watched it a few times, and he gets hit quite cleanly. He gets sort of clipped on the forehead, and it grazes him. Yeah. Well, sorry, I just couldn't hear what you said there at the end, but it grazes him, and he falls, and he puts his hands up. But now you can be clean out and with your hands up. But Herb's been doing this for a long time. He is probably my favorite referee and one of MMA's longest standing referees with a lot of experience. I mean, he
also ex-fighter himself.
Yeah. And participated in MMA, got his black belt in jiu-jitsu. He really has, he's been on the mat a million times. He knows what he's doing. And he said the fight wasn't finished. So the guy was still conscious. And the commentator, Dan Hardy, who is also an ex-fighter and been on the mat
but I mean, he's
times.
also, but I think I also, okay.
Sorry, just to finish, Dan Hardy said it was a late stoppage and Herb should have stopped it after the first knockdown. So they had a bit of argy-bargy, and Herb released a video on Instagram saying that the stoppage was perfect. The guy can't win because if he stops it too early, he gets cucked on by Dana White in the UFC. You should have let the fight go. If he stops it too late, he gets cucked on by the commission and the fans. Yeah. And Dana White.
For sure.
So either way, he's getting cucked on by Dana White. So what do you do?
Yeah, but absolutely. But then again, that's on Herb Dean's shoulders as the referee.
Yeah, totally.
So he's gonna get hate regardless of whether he likes it or not. He's gonna get hate from a fan that he finished a fight earlier of his favorite fighter that protested that it was an early stoppage. He's gonna get shit for not finishing for not stopping a fight earlier. He's gonna get shit for breathing. So my issue is Dan Hardy. Essentially, if you think of roles, job descriptions, Dan Hardy had no reason to do that.
No, 100%. I think.
And
that
I
was
just
also
I
what-
just want to finish what I'm saying, in the sense that I think what Dan Hardy did, and if you think of the greatest scheme of things, he brought Herb Dean's name, as well as the UFC, as well as the sports regulatory body into disrepute by expleting on a live broadcast with a microphone in front of him. I think what Dan Hardy did was downright wrong.
No, totally. And like, I totally agree. And that was Herb Dean's whole thing. He's like, that's not your job. Like, there's his corner and there's like the medical person there that can call. They're the only other two people. They both said it was fine. They were happy. Every person I've seen interviews with about this, DC and a few others have all said, yes, it was a late stoppage. But do you think that if there wasn't such a stink up from Dan, that you actually wouldn't have heard much else about it? Purely because of that whole...
Yeah, you're right. We probably wouldn't have heard about it. The problem,
No.
I think, what Dan Hardy's saying and what I... No, so we wouldn't have heard about it really. But the problem is with CTE and brain damage. So what Dan Hardy's saying is the fighter, yeah, he's already knocked out, and this is one of the problems in MMA that we need to sort out. There's no you get in cricket and football, you have action replays and Hawkeyes and all sorts of drone footage to make sure the ball crossed the line. MMA, there's no ball crossing a line. It's someone getting knocked out. So I think Dan Hardy's coming from a point of view where he's seeing another human being, and it often is worse if it's a friend of yours that you've trained with in the gym.
Yeah, and he's a fighter as well.
And he's a fighter, so he sort of... But look, so a lot of the guys are fighters. Cormier, Bisping, Herb Dean himself. I just think I kind of understand where Dan Hardy's coming from, but to get that upset after the fact is probably wrong, and he's bringing the UFC's name into disrepute. If you can do that while it's happening and stop it, fine. I mean, we saw Bisping when Figueiredo submitted
Not the runner.
When Figueiredo submitted Benavidez.
Yeah. He knocked him out, didn't he? Oh yeah.
He knocked him down and then
literally broke his spine in a reenact.
He subbed him pretty hard, and Benavidez was out, and Bisping was shouting, "He's out! Stop the fight!" But he did it in the moment, and it's natural for a guy to feel anguish and anxiety for another fighter, because these guys are all fighters.
Yeah.
But I think after that, look, Dan Hardy now needs to say, okay, look, and he's not going to back down, because also was it Dan Hardy's first gig?
No, geez, Dan Hardy has done many a gig. He's done so many.
Commentary.
Yeah,
Commentary.
Absolutely. He's done plenty of them.
My bad. I thought that was his first one. And
no, he's done.
I think he did extremely well, and I love his analysis.
Oh
and
man,
his
he is
MMA
so good, and I
breakdowns.
just love the fact that, and Jared and I will both enjoy this. Is that he also he's a meddler. He wears like skulls on his tie. And
Well,
so,
he's got
I don't know if you noticed
got a
the
pink
skull.
mohawk.
Yeah, but not right now. But he had a mohawk on the broadcast.
No, he does. He's got one
He's
now.
still got
No,
it.
but not a pink mohawk.
No, not a pink, but he's still got the mohawk.
But he was wearing the skulls on his tie. But I was wondering, I would always wonder what kind of music old Dan Hardy's into. Yeah, I reckon he's into some like pikey fucking metal.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So I
See,
kind
but
of.
it also started off with his. I think it was also that whole Boza fight as well, where.
Tanner Boza.
Well, Herb Dean also maybe could have called that a little sooner, and that's where it all kind of escalated. So now he's going, it's the second time.
It's the second time.
Yeah. You know, where I mean, I don't think the Boza one was too bad. I mean, it was weird, but the guy got punched out. I mean,
okay, can we just take a small second to appreciate
our sponsors, Rugby.
Yeah, Regani and Jared Ronenberg, who now has more knowledge in MMA than Daniel.
Definitely.
Oh,
Moving on.
Yeah. Shout out Regani. But that's amazing, dude. Yeah, no, it was the second time, Tanabosa, and then it was the Francisco Trinaldo fight that caused that controversy. But at the end of the day, it's not up to Dan Hardy, and I think he tarnished his reputation just a little bit. I mean, in all the years, have you heard of a commentator getting involved with the referee?
Not really.
I mean,
No,
I've been
that
following.
was
I've been
weird.
following the UFC since 2010. It's been 10 years since I've been following it, and I've never seen anything of the sort.
I've never seen that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Why don't you
what happens
just?
when you put a firecracker in as a commentator? You know, they're going to explode. That's
Yeah.
They've got that
So-
personality. Yeah.
Jay, why don't you move on to tell us about Big Khabib?
Oof, what?
Ooh, yeah.
Machine. What was it? What was the stats? So he fought what 2 weeks
192
beforehand, or a week
to
before?
2.
192 strikes against opponents, and he in 2 fights, and he's only been hit twice. I mean, that is insane.
That's incredible.
That's
and he's
incredible.
a grappler.
Yeah, Grappler,
Yeah.
he got 0 hits in this fight on Saturday.
So people are
Yeah.
obviously scared of his takedown. Okay, I'm going to watch this guy's next 10 fights. I'm sorry, guys. I've
Yeah.
I've
You know
pulled-
what's
I've
him
pulled up
already?
his- No, I haven't seen him. Sorry, guys. I'm
That's all
casual. I
good.
watched
You
the
need
main
to check
card.
out
Don't-
old Hamzat, bro. Hamzat's.
Don't
So
worry, there's
Chimaev.
speak of him maybe even fighting on the 15th at the
Oh, my
DC fight
Lord.
as well, hey? So they're trying to get him already.
He's
Well,
gonna
I
move,
mean-
he's gonna be fighting Gilbert Burns or somebody in the next like 6 months.
Yeah, I sent you. I sent you boys a link today. I think Dana White also had his best interview. I think he's had in years with Brett Okamoto on ESPN. It was
I watched that.
hilarious. It was
I saw that.
fantastic. I thought that was such a good interview. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and he
I saw it. I
and he
didn't watch
had
it,
Brett
but-
on his toes, dude.
Well, yeah, because he said to Brett,
Why don't you
You know-
show up for in live interviews?
because Brett was obviously defending journalists because Dana says how he doesn't really get along with reporters and journalists because they do talk a lot of shit about the UFC even though they love it and they love watching MMA.
You
So he
also
says to
gotta-
Brett, "Yeah, well, why don't you show up for interviews and then you would have seen the place."
Yeah, and
Brett
you
just
know,
said,
and you
"Moving
know,
on."
Brett Okamoto's in Vegas.
Well, look, when you want to go and meet people face to face these days, you got to get 3 COVID tests. You got to do
Not
a lot
in
of-
America,
jump over a lot
sunshine.
of hurdles.
Not in America. America, pretty
Are you
much.
sure about that?
I'm
you sure about
100% sure.
Okay, because you sound like you're about 1% sure.
When did I send? When did I sound like I was 1% sure? Those are operating. The Vegas Strip is open, bro.
But now, is Dana in
Okay,
Vegas
well then
now?
no, he's got
Is
no
he not-
excuse. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jay.
Is he not at Yas Island? At the
No,
No,
they're
they've
back-
all
they're back.
returned.
Okay, okay, so Dana is in Vegas.
So I pulled up what's his name, Big Khabib. I've pulled up his card, and
Hamzat.
he's 8-0, and he's fought against a South African.
Who?
He beat Mamzile. Let me say it properly. Mzwandile Hlongwa, and he beat him by a DAS choke, and that was in 2019, 4th of October. So the guy fought. He's fought in May 2018, August 2018, November 2018, December 2018, and then April and October in 2019, and then July 15th and the 25th in the UFC for 2020.
Can I
So-
tell you? Yeah,
That's incredible.
I want to tell you a reason why John was it John Gooden? Yeah, John Gooden said that he had actually seen this guy for years. This guy's been training, and he only decided to go pro when the time was right, and he's just been cleaning everybody.
Well, why is he so good? What does he do? Does he fight very
He's
similarly
he's
to
a
Khabib?
170-pound Khabib.
So he's a chain wrestler.
He's a chain wrestler, but he's got
But how do
he's
you-
got more vicious ground and pound than Khabib does, as far as I'm concerned.
In the words of DC, is that he is like Khabib is big, like a big guy. That if you're on the ground, he'll beat you. Where this guy, he's lanky, he's got long arms. He gets you on the ground, you try and get away, he's just going to reach out, pull you back in, and just pound you, and so you can't get away from him. He is just like a spider that is just going to ground and pound.
And he's already got, and McGregor's already tweeting him, eh?
Okay.
Well, you know, if McGregor tweets it, then it's done.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, yeah. I mean, at least, I mean, his name is out there. Well, everybody needs to just look out for Hamzat Chimaev, because that is a fighter that is going to be one of the top contenders. 100%. It's going to be amazing.
Yep.
So, are we going to talk about Little Nog and versus Shogun, or should we move swiftly on?
Move swiftly on.
Verdum versus
Okay,
Gustafsson.
listen. Okay, let's do this. Antonio Ruggiero Nogueira deserves all the accolades in the world. I believe he should have retired a fucking long time ago. As I do Mauricio Shogun Hua. It was not an entertaining fight. I don't care what anybody says.
No.
It was. I've seen the fight twice before. It played out exactly the way it did in the first
hit for
fight.
hit
Guy
almost,
gets rocked in the first round. It's a back and forth second round, and it's a fucking exhausted third round. Sorry.
Yeah.
Carl Esparza, move the fuck on. Sorry. Like, that fight was also, it was just, Carl Esparza, for me, she's an amazing fighter and she's great, but she's also this, this Marina Rodriguez, the last time I saw her, she pieced this chick up. It was a beautiful display of striking. And then she got owned on the ground wrestling. And it was a split decision. It wasn't, I just don't know what is going on with these strawweights. Unless you Rose Namajunas, unless you Joanna Jędrzejczyk, you can jog on,
Or Wei Li Zhang.
Oh, Wei Li, yeah, sorry. But it's just
I agree with you. Those fights are a bit boring. But that's why, I was going to go straight to Gus. Gus got caught. Gus got caught with a nasty little submission, similarly to the way that Calvin. Gus did.
Yeah, for sure. But it was more heartbreaking than Calvin. Because he previously retired.
Pretty heartbreaking for me because I hate leg locks.
No, for sure. But I cannot. At the same token, leg locks are terrible for the knee, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But Fabricio was on a 2-fight skid. Gustafsson was on a loss coming from, I think it was Anthony Smith.
Yes.
And then he retired. Then I was hoping for this big Gustafsson comeback. And I don't like Verdum. So I was quite happy for Verdum to take the third loss. But then Verdum uses BJJ. You know what? When all else fails, BJJ, baby. Are we keeping you up there, Danny boy?
Yeah, I also saw that, bro.
No, not at all. I just yawned at the prospect of watching another Fabricio Verdum fight.
Yeah, well, exactly. And you know what?
I agree with you.
Just on me catching you with the yawn, it was quite funny. I was watching Believe You Me with Bisping and Luis J. Gomez today. And Bisping was off camera and Luis J. Gomez called him out for picking his nose. He's like, he's mid-conversation. He goes, I just saw you pick your nose. You
got to take your clip the wings of your podcast partner sometimes,
Well, anyway, just dovetailing off is I think Gustafsson needs to have another fight at heavyweight. That was almost like a that didn't work out. Let's try it again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Who do you want him to fight? Tai Tuivasa, anybody?
Jeez, it'll be fucking David versus Goliath. But yeah.
No, it'll be perfect. Really.
No, I like it. I like it. Give him anybody.
Gus has got longer reach than Tai, and Ty's got a heavier stomach than
Gus. Do you know what Gus needs? Gus needs a break. So give him anybody right now. I just need Gus in the W column.
Yeah, well, he needs a break, and then when he comes back, I'd like to see him there too. But I think ultimately what I wanted was Gus versus Jones 3 at heavyweight. That would have been great.
Nah, I'm not keen on that at all. But it sounds fun.
It's fun.
It sounds fun. I'd rather have
Sorry, guys. I was going to say any other reflections before we move on to today's news.
I was going to say, how about that flipping triangle by Craig? Paul Craig.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, and I think that closes off the card there, Jay. It was
so
it was slick, but you know what? He took some flipping heavy shots on the ground,
But he
on his
was
back.
like, I know I'm going to get it, and I'm just going to keep going until I get it around his neck.
Hey, listen, that is dedication, because he took some banging. You know, he suffered stitches just to get that triangle.
Yes, but it was worth it. It was
Do
beautiful.
what you got to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So just for the listeners, next week we got a new thing coming up. We're going to do the social media burns of the week. Cody Garbrandt is often having a little burn against Henry Cejudo. Sugar Sean has been getting involved. Peter Yan has been getting involved. Darren Till's always shitting on Mike Perry. And Dylan Dennis is always talking guck.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do now is just read the news and you guys can react. Surprise, Mike Perry becoming a father.
Whoa! What?
Oh, okay.
What?
Yeah.
When did you find? Is it with Queen Latori?
Well, pull it up quickly. And then also Khabib versus Justin Gaethje set.
Hey,
Oh
yes.
shit!
Come on.
Oh shit! But you missed the biggest news of it all, and we're gonna announce it.
Well, I was letting the best for last, but after this, Frankie Edgar versus Pedro Munez rescheduled.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
And then, yeah, I think, what was the biggest story?
The biggest story
What's
is
the
From the Corners moving into its own channel, to its own Facebook page, to its own Instagram account.
For
Amazing.
all the lovers.
Yeah.
Daniel just literally, his heart just dropped. He's like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, now I've got to do some work.
No, so,
No,
Yeah,
I can't just
I think
tune
you're
in on
holding
it.
back
Jeez,
another yawn.
yeah.
we'll get more traffic because we'll go and talk cuck on the other MMA
Yeah,
channel.
for sure. And
And,
another new thing with From the Corners, we're gonna get guests.
Yeah. Well, our first guest is going to be the Hound of Harfield.
Yeah, Gaza Bennett.
Yeah.
And
Shout
then
out,
it's,
Gaza.
yeah.
Yeah. Who's after
No,
that?
I was going to
No,
just give a shout out to Don Madge, but I didn't want to say that we're going to get him and
Well,
he
we'll
doesn't come.
no, we
No,
will,
so
man. We will.
We'll eventually talk to Don. I mean, Don, we know you watch the podcast.
We need to
It's
cut.
fine.
Yeah, we
Come
need to
on.
cut our teeth just a little bit.
Shout out, Madford. I'm starting there soon. I was didn't want to go when I had the sniffles last week.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Yeah, yeah.
are they
Well-
back in action? Are they training?
They're back in action, training, but it's all very sanitized and private lessons. But also, just don't come if you're sick. You got to open back up.
Yeah,
and
don't be a
Black Belt
dick.
Brandon is back.
Don't be a
Yeah,
dick.
don't be a dick. That's
For
the rule
sure.
for life. So,
But
I'm
yeah.
pulling
So
up-
what are you gonna say, Danny boy?
no, I was just pulling up the fact that. Let me quickly go back to that story. So it says that Mike Perry is having a baby. I don't know if it's obviously not with his current girlfriend because they haven't been dating longer than 9 months. Their baby boy is expected to arrive on January 12th, and it sounds like Platinum has already embraced the role of a father.
Is it Platinum
surprise-
Princess though?
It could be. I could be reading an Onion article, but
No, you can't bring fake news to From the Corner, bro. What the?
it's on SB Nation, so it's generally a
Wow.
reputable source.
Insane.
Well,
Jeepers.
guys, we'll check it out, and if it's an Onion article, I'll say sorry in the comments, and I'll leave a link in the description.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
What about, we never actually brought up the fact, I mean, you brought up that now there's the fight with Khabib. But the fact that, I mean, we weren't expecting him to come back at all because his father passed away, what was that, like just less than a month ago?
Yeah, shame,
Everyone was
man.
like, yeah, no, he's not going to come back.
I think Dana
mean,
White
his
was being a
right-hand
sneaky little
person-
bitch.
I don't know about that. I think the guy does need time, and he's going to have only 4 months. If the date that they announced, it's only about 4 months after the passing of his father. It's very short.
Bro,
I mean, it's
crazy.
everyone's worst nightmare is to have your dad pass away. I don't know, like I don't know if how he's recovering. Maybe he asked for the fight. Maybe he wants to have one more fight and dedicate it to his father.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
And what he did say after he beat McGregor, they said there'll be someone else. Then there was Poirier. After he beat Poirier, he said there's always going to be someone else. Now you guys are going to say Justin. And Justin is on fire if you look at his last two fights.
He's on fire.
He really is. They really are the top two lightweights in the world right now. You know, if just marginally ahead of sort of Ferguson and Poirier. So maybe he does want this fight to just wish his father well and dedicate the fight to him and then retire.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I think he's gonna retire 30-0 if he manages to keep his record clean and beat Justin. I think if he beats Justin, he's gonna fight Tony and retire. But
yes, if
yeah, I think
Justin, I don't see him fight.
Habib is a legacy guy. So he's like, I will not fight for money. I'll fight for legacy. These guys are top 2 fighter in the world. I'll fight top 2 fighter, beat them, I smash them, and go to family. This is father plan.
I take you down, make tired, beat, submit,
I smash him.
Tap.
He'll literally just say, I'll fight Justin first, give me an
Easy
hour,
work.
and then I'll
Easy
fight
work.
Tony afterwards.
Yeah.
Take
easy
work, take money, give money to poor people, say thank you, father, retire.
That's it, brother.
So have fun
That's
with
it,
my
brother.
babe.
Brother. You don't know.
Respect,
You don't know,
teammate.
brother. Respect.
Teammate.
Honor.
Clean gym,
Grace.
Grace.
Habib Nurmagomedov.
Anyway, so any last thoughts from you guys? before we-
Brunson versus Shabazian.
Oh yeah,
You
that's
know,
hard for next week.
I'm not riveted in my seat, but yeah,
Who you got?
Derek Brunson.
Quick.
I got Derek Brunson in that one.
Okay, I got
Surprisingly, but it'll
Shabazian,
be a
yes.
decision.
Calderwood, Jennifer Meyer, I got Jojo. Vicente Luque, Randy Brown. That's a brilliant fight.
I got Luque.
Luque is on a killer win streak.
Yeah, second round KO head kick.
Oh no, actually Luque is not on a killer win streak. He came off a loss from Wonderboy.
Wonderboy Thompson. But
but Randy Brown
hasn't Luque had a fight since the Wonderboy fight?
No.
Okay.
And Randy Brown is the one who suffered the hammer fists from the bottom with Nico Price. And he got knocked out from the bottom. That's one of his 3 losses.
Okay, so Vicente Luque lost against Wonderboy, but he beat Nico Price recently on May 9th.
Oh shit! Oh yes, he did. True story.
So
That was an amazing one.
He's recovered from his loss against Wonderboy.
Okay, but Randy Brown is the guy who lost to Nico Price via hammer fist from the bottom.
I've never quite seen such a funny knockout. And
I know.
but I loved it. I enjoyed it a lot. It
But another one is Lando Venata versus Bobby Green. Bobby Green's now starting to get a little bit of his due. He's starting to get a little bit of traction. He was on the Michael Bisping podcast. He's being interviewed now by people.
You've been riding Bobby Green quite hard for the last few weeks. So I definitely want to see his next fight.
Was I riding him hard?
I mean, you were maybe you weren't riding him. You were just fellatioing him.
Yes, bro. Fucking rather give me the KY jelly,
bro. If they make it to, there's only something to speak about if they make it onto the corner. Until they make it here, then
yeah, for sure. Lando Venata versus Bobby Green is a sleeper though. That's gonna be a crazy fight. And then Trevin Giles versus Kevin Holland is another complete sleeper. What is even the definition of a sleeper? I think that's a good thing though. I don't even know.
It's a burner,
yeah, it's a burner. Kevin Holland versus Trevin Giles. Kevin Holland is one of those guys that talk a lot in the cage. It's like crazy. He's like, hey man, why do you hit so hard? He's like got that Eddie Murphy.
This guy.
He's got like an Eddie Murphy kind of like, that was funny, you hit me hard kind of vibe. So he's always entertaining. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be South Africa time, 3:00 in the morning at the UFC Apex, Sunday the 2nd of August. That's going to be amazing. Guys, this has been an episode of From the Corner. It's been great, has it not?
From the corner.
Thank you, everybody.
Is that it? Are we just? Is that it? Is that it? Are we looking forward to? We'll see you next week. We will be on a new channel. We'll have possibly some new graphics.
Love it.
Possibly new footage.
Yeah, 100%. We'll have a new intro. All the best. Fuck yeah, guys. Thank you so much. Good to see you. This is From the Corner. We'll see you next week, Wednesday.
Peace.
From the corner. Yeah. Sometimes your stock is just higher.
I'm telling you, that's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's probably one of the worst things I've ever heard. Let's move on.
Just like that.